switched out and ready to roll. Invited me on his helicopter. As you can see, it's 5:33. Went to bed at like 1:30. Talking to a helicopter guy right now. Oh, this is the part people don't talk about. It's not glamorous. Usually you don't have people making videos of this part of it. Oh, fluoride. Good morning, Optima. All right, we're all switched out and ready to roll, so let's go do some helicopter.
Level R.
We'll just shut that. Do a few things here. The weight vest.
That's gonna be replaced by me?
Yeah.
Perfect. That was pretty easy.
Aviation's a whole different world.
Delta traffic, flight plane 18 Delta 30, final runway 35 Stellar.
Unless I do something wrong.
All right.
And then don't.
If there's any malfunctions or crashes, don't add that.
There will not be any malfunctions or crashes in the name of Yeshua. Oil pressure's where it should be. We'll wait for the clutch light to go out and then we'll roll up to 60, 70.
You're looking pretty solid. Nothing in the way. So this guy that I went in a helicopter with is a guy that I met yesterday while I was sparring.
You okay, Cam? Don't stop. I know. I sure hope he does.
And we just fought essentially and kicked things off really well. He invited me on his helicopter. I went and I filmed it. Then after that we went to breakfast and kicked things off really well and got to know him. Super cool dude. Social media presence is struggling. So there could be an opportunity for some client work there. And it's just one of those relationships where you have to nurture it a little bit more, get to know him a little bit better, get to know what he's looking for, what he needs, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Lives in the same building as me, which is pretty cool. I've seen him all around. The only thing is he's a really good fighter, and I'm interested in fighting. So it might be worth it for me to do a trade-off of skills, my skills for learning his skills. So there is that. That's something that I have to weigh out, because as much as I would like to get my first client for this series, is more valuable for me in my life. After helicoptering and after breakfast, went to church and then went and did some work on some other stuff, mainly for this series. So that's why I'm picking this up a little bit later in the day. It's now 5 p.m. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go down, the weather's getting a little bit bad, and I'm gonna go smoke a cigar, and I'm gonna run you guys through the direction that I'm looking to take with this agency and some of my goals with it, so that you know what you're following along with and what I'm even shooting for. Obviously 10K is the first milestone, but I wanna go much further than that, because I'm seeing that this series is catching some decent traction. So I wanna make it the most that it can be, and it's probably gonna be a little bit longer time horizon for some of the other goals that I have, but I wanna run you guys through what that looks like, and you know, what scaling is going to look like as well, so that I can carry over a lot of the things that I've learned from my other agency into this one and really take it somewhere and just show you guys what's possible. So that's my goal. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to send that Ridge Wallet video on Twitter for Ridge Wallet, see if that turns into anything, which obviously I'll follow up with you guys on if it does, and then from there I will then go and share with you some of my goals and what that looks like for this agency. All right, so here is the post from Sean Frank, which I believe is the CEO, let's see, CEO of Ridge. And this is a wallet that I've been using for years, so it's one that I believe in, and that's kind of why I took an interest in this. I don't know if this is gonna turn into anything, but I did put together a video, so I might as well do a little bit of something. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quote tweet this, and I'm going to add my video in here. I'm gonna say, yo, at Sean Frank, I believe it was. Is it Sean Frank CEG? No, Sean Ecom. I've used for, actually it's been over like 4 years. Yo Sean, I've used your wallet for over 4 years, threw it off my balcony to stress test it, and it held up like a champ. Side note, we've worked with a lot of the space. All right, so I said, Presley's giving me a call. Yo Sean, I've used your wallet for over 4 years, threw it off my balcony to stress test it, and it held up like a champ. Side note, we've worked with a lot of large creators in the space, as well as some recent work with StockX. Let's chat. So the thing that set me apart in this is the fact that I just took the time and made a video with his wallet in the first place, or their wallet in the first place. Like, no one else in the comment section has done that. They've just like recommended people, which obviously your existing portfolio can go a really long way. But my whole thing was like, I just want to stand out from everyone else and put something together personalized to him, which is what I did. Look at, this is the video right here. I'll show you guys. I think I showed you this morning.
13 hours till I land, had me out like a light, like a light, like a light.
So it's like obviously nothing too that's commenting on that post. So that's the thinking there. All right, now let's go talk about some of the goals that I have with this and what you guys can expect going forward. All right, so what I want to do in this segment is I wrote some things down in my journal that are going to be really important to me when scaling up this agency. And I think that this is something that you should also implement into your journey as well, because without a clear-cut direction, it's going to be very easy to, lose motivation. It's going to be easy to give up. Like I've mentioned before, the first client is usually the hardest client to go and get. You don't really have any social proof. You don't really have too much of a portfolio of getting people results. So the first one is usually the toughest one. But I do want to read some of the stuff that I wrote down. So I kind of have things written down into 3 separate goals. And I have like an overlying motto that I like to live by. I think success loves speed. However, direction is more important than speed. And if you don't have a clear direction on the way that you're going, you can be really fast towards the wrong thing. We did this with our agency in the very beginning as well. We scaled up to 70K a month, and it was a nightmare because we did not have things in place and we were just accepting clients. We got some good results and everyone wanted to work with us at the time for what we were offering, which was short form agency, and we scaled it up really quick and the workload was too much. Presley and I were up till 4 a.m. every night, getting up at 9 a.m. the following day for like 2 months straight. And at that point, we decided that the money wasn't even worth it at that point because we had no life at all outside of just fulfilling for our clients, right? We had no team in place. It was just a shit show. It was a nightmare. It's important to first decide on a direction of where you want to go and what's important to you, because if you don't have that, it's going to be really easy to lose motivation. Now, a couple things that I also wrote down is I think it's very important to keep God at the center of your business. Now, I'm not going to say I'm the perfect example of that because I'm not the perfect example of that. But when it comes to the morals of, you know, the way that you treat people, when it comes to how you fulfill, shortcuts that you shouldn't take, I think that the Bible has a lot of really good wisdom around this. I mean, you look in Proverbs, and Solomon was the richest man to ever walk the earth with an estimated net worth of, I think, is over a couple $1 trillion. So in today's, you know, economy, what that would be worth. So I think some of the wisdom that you can pull out of Proverbs, which is what Solomon wrote, is very, very valuable. This is my most read book in the Bible. I've read through it at least 30 times, and I will tell you it has been incredibly insightful for the journey that I'm on and just the decision making, right? Because when you're running a business, as you scale up at a higher and higher level, things become less about the work that you put in and more about the decisions you make, right? When you have a team working for you, when you have that type of leverage, the decisions you make carry an extreme amount of weight of whether your business will succeed or fail. It's very much so just freelance, right? And you get out what you put in as far as work. But with the agency that we're running right now, you know, our main agency, very much so the decisions we make carry a lot of weight. Who we decide to work with, who we decide to tie our reputation to. And there have been people that we've had to end agreements early. There's been people that we've had to refund because it wasn't in alignment with where we wanted to go. And we've realized this 30 days in, we've realized this two weeks in, we've realized this before we sign deals, and stuff like that happens. So it's important to be clear on the direction that you want to take before you act really fast in that direction, right? I'm able to go out and speak to a bunch of clients because I have a clear direction of where I want to be. And so the path that I'm taking for me is very clear, and I can wake up every day and do this because I know exactly what needs to happen, right? So for goal number 1, that's hitting 10K a month. That's probably why you're even invested in this series anyway, just to see if it's possible, right? And I know for a fact that that's possible because I have 7 clients all paying me over 10K a month each, right? So it could be one client, could be multiple clients. I really would rather it be multiple clients just for the diversity of, you know, if one client drops, I don't want that to be the entire business. And at that point, it's not even really a business. If you only have one client, you're just kind of working for/with someone, which is a great starting point. But I'm also looking at this as if all my eggs are in one basket and that basket breaks, then I have no eggs, right? So there's some things that I want to do with this business where I have a little more diversity, and I probably want to have some smaller retainers to do that. Goal, 10K a month. I really don't think that should take more than 30 days, but I'm giving myself a realistic window of 1 to 3 months because I might have to shift, I might have to pivot, I might have to make some changes. I'm not always sure because the way that I'm approaching this business is different than the way that I approach the agency that I have right now, right? A lot of that was online. I had some existing reputation. I'm trying and intentionally doing this from zero with as little connections as I possibly have and going out and meeting people for the first time. I just moved to a new city 2 weeks ago, so I'm really challenging myself here to not use existing connections and network, just because I know that that's what a lot of you can relate with. You know, you're usually just getting your foot off the ground or your feet off the ground and you're just getting started. You don't have that network, you have the skills, but now you want to scale. So I'm trying to be as relatable as I can to you, the viewer, with that as much as I can. And I realize getting to that 10K a month mark is just a numbers and relationship game, and it's the exact same thing for you. You can very easily and very simply get to 10K a month if you meet enough people, if you meet enough of the right people, and you position yourself in front of those people properly. And it really, like I said, just comes down to numbers. Are you talking to enough people in a given week, in a given day, in a given month? And are you building intentional relationships with these people, right? So the reason that I say go in and do free work first is because this is how you can establish and give into the relationship first, right? Because if you want to get, you should give first. That's just a motto that I live by, and I think it's very important that you kick things off in that light, because when it does come down the line, I'm not saying you should always do this transactionally, but in this case where you are building something, you know, and you do want that transaction of, you know, getting your first client, you're more likely going to be able to get if you give first. So it's important to, on paper, know exactly what it looks like. You know, you should have 2-week sprints, 1 month long sprints of what you need to do every day in order to move the needle forward, right? So it's like you can take what I just gave you, knowing that this is a numbers and relationships game, and you can turn that into a sprint for yourself. 2 weeks, 30 days, 90 days, you know. The reality is you can change your life in that span of time. And what that looks like is, okay, how can I put myself in environments to meet enough people and kick myself off on the right foot, and do that enough times where something will land, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not too much different than going and submitting your application at multiple jobs until you get a job, right? That's kind of what we're doing. We're just doing it in a way where we can build a business out of it. We don't stop at when we get one job, right? We get one client and then we scale from there. So that's goal number one. That's first goal. And a lot of you are in this period where you want to get to 10K a month, or, you know, 15 or 5K a month. You want to just start making money. You want to sign your first client, right? So what I have to say to you, go meet people, carry your camera around. You'll be surprised how many conversations you start with that. This is where it's very important to become an extrovert, not an introvert, and learn people skills. How can you add value? How can you pick up on social cues? And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is just through experience, right? One of my buddies, good friends, Nick Verge, says, a lot of your problems with this, if this is something that you're scared of, something you need help with, will be solved if you just go into a mall. You take 1 week and set a timer. 1 hour each day you have to go into a mall and you have to talk to complete strangers. You have a checklist. I have to talk to at least 10 people. I have to go start a conversation, hold a conversation, and, you know, push through it, right? And the reality is the first couple you do are going to be awful, right? You're going to miserably fail, but you have to look at it in this lens of, will that failure impact my life in 5 to 10 years if I don't take it? No. But if I take that and I learn from it, I move on to the next and I keep going, will it add up and amount to something better? Absolutely, right? So your future why needs to overpower where you're currently at and your current discomfort. I think that's extremely important. So that's my actionable advice for all of you that are not to 10K a month, that you don't have your first client. This is very much so a people game. You have the skill of videography, most likely. If you don't, it's not too easy to pick up to it to the point where you can go and offer it, right? Don't get in your own head. Perfection will hold you back. 80%, it's an 80-20 rule where, you know, you need to spend 20% of your time to do 80% of the work, and that 80% is usually good enough in most cases. And if it's not, the people will tell you, the people will speak, and that's completely okay. You know, the biggest thing here, especially for a lot of you that might be scared of rejection, that might be scared of failure, that might be scared of, you know, any of those things, is that you need to really instill a powerful why of, why am I doing this? For me, I want to take care of my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. These are all really important people to me, my friends and, you know, extended family as well. I want freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I want to create my own schedule, and I want to take care of the people I love. And this is my why, and this is a really, really powerful why for me, right? Because when you're in the moment and you don't feel like going and cold approaching that client or that girl or whatever it is, you think about your why. And then you're like, okay, well, this is my why, and I need to do it for this reason, right? So if you don't have a strong why, you're going to get into that situation and then you're going to back out. So it's important to come up with what your why is in order to make that happen, because yeah, ultimately that's what it comes down to. Like if you don't have a strong why, then you're most likely going to fold and you're going to give up. So, and last but not least, on goal number 1 before I go into 2 and 3 is, regardless of what your belief in any higher power is, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus as my Lord and Savior, and I don't want to bring this into this a whole bunch and make it all about it, but it is very important for where I've gotten to in life right now, running a business at over 100K a month, and now having the opportunity to scale dramatically past that. Some of the people I've met is, I have asked God for wisdom and discernment, and He has been faithful with giving this to me. So I cannot take any of the credit myself. I have to give it all to Him. And whether you want to believe this or not, I'm just telling you from my own experience of someone that has gone out and done the thing, that this has worked for me and has been extremely valuable in just the wisdom that I have received from God. So again, whether you believe that or not, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. That has just been a raw reality in my own life and in my own journey. And I look back at some of the decisions that amounted to a whole lot, and what could have happened if I didn't make the right decision, and I would not be in this spot. Like things could have gone dramatically wrong, dramatic failure. You know, things could have gone awfully south without the right wisdom and discernment, because that is a large part of it. So goal number 1 is 10K a month, and you can pretty much do that as a freelancer without having to systemize, without having to, you know, essentially build a business, right? You can build to 10K a month as a freelancer, and I'm saying this out of experience because I was doing this when I was 18 years old. I was working with a startup trading company, and I was doing roughly 12 to 15K a month on average. I did it for 10 months straight with this company and beyond when I was 18 years old. Made over 100 grand, 120 grand to be exact. I have this in a tax return, I can prove this, when I was 18 years old as a freelance videographer, working for pretty much 1 and 2 clients, but mainly 1 was the main income source. And with that client, I was just freelancing. I didn't have anything systemized. I was just doing all the work myself. So it's very, very possible to get to 10K a month without building a real business or a real agency, and just through a handful of clients and fulfilling everything yourself. That's goal 1. Let's move on to goal 2. And this is something that the reality is, like I said, I already have another agency that is doing, you know, over 100K a month. So you might be asking, Cam, why are you starting another agency? Why do you only want to get to 10K a month? Like, you know, that's like barely any money. And the reality is documenting the journey is really, really important to me. I know I can help a lot of people. Will I make money helping a lot of people? I absolutely will. Is that an intention behind what I'm doing now? Absolutely. I'm going to be open and transparent about that, and I'm not ashamed of that at all, because I know that the people that we've already helped thus far, their lives have gotten dramatically better. And I know that me going out and making my clients an extra $100,000 a month just means that they can go get another Rolex or another car. It doesn't move the needle too much. But like, for example, Ben, who works with me now, he scaled from 4K a month to 28K a month. Your quality of life going from 4K a month to 28K a month, like, your life has changed forever, right? Your limiting beliefs crushed in a good way. What you know to be possible, and you know what you think you can achieve, and your quality of life, you know, you can go from eating food that, you know, you might not be good for you, to literally whatever you want. You can be eating the best possible things. You can have the nice car, you can have the nice apartment in the good area, you can take flights, you have freedom, you have accessibility, you have the just ability to do kind of whatever you want at that point, right? So lives change a lot more going from 0 to 10K, 10 to 30K than they do me adding extra 100K a month to my clients, right? So that's why this is also important, because I was like, if I can do this once, and if I can do it again, and I can do it multiple times, then you can definitely do this. And to add a little bit more credibility in social, well, not even credibility, to add a little bit more of a reason of why you can do this, I literally dropped out of high school. I don't have a GED. I don't have a diploma. I have no credentials on paper for any of this. No education outside of just being self-taught. Thankful to my mom and dad, because they homeschooled me and taught me how to learn. So I didn't start with any of these social skills. I was literally the most introverted person. I was scared to talk to people. I had no friends growing up, but everything changed. And you know, with that, I just think it's really, really important to learn how to learn, and that's something that my parents really did a good job of instilling into me, was blessing me with the skill of going out and being able to figure things out. So Mom, Dad, if you're watching this, I'm thankful to you for that, because I would not be here without that. So don't let your education hold you back, because the information is out there, and it's accessible. So goal number 2 and goal number 3 is where the agency actually starts to make a lot more sense for me, and documenting this journey makes a lot more sense for me, because with goal number 2, I'm going to systemize and scale. Now this is probably 3 to 6 months out from where I am right now, and this is a point that we made in our other agency already. So the systemize and scale is what we've already achieved in our other agency, and this is what I want to achieve with this agency that I just started as well. And what this looks like is bringing on talent and managers, which will lower the profit margin of the business, but will actually turn it into a business, right? Because if I'm doing everything solo, or even with one business partner, it's not really a business. It's just like a glorified job, right? This doesn't become a business until I'm working on it instead of in it, right? So this means I'm not filming all the videos. This means I'm not doing all the editing. This means I'm not doing all the deliverables. I'm more pointing the finger, and I'm the visionary of where I want things to go. This is where it's going to be important for me to take myself out of the business. I'm not going to be able to achieve goal 3 if I don't take myself out of the business, but I also don't get my time back until I take myself out of the business or put myself in enough of a position of leverage to have my time back, right? Because we made this mistake in the beginning. We scaled to 70K a month without having systems, and because we didn't have those systems, we were just working around the clock, right? And no one starts a business because they want to give up their life completely. Now, there is going to be a phase where you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifice in order to make this work, but you will get on the other side of that, and you will be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor if you build the proper systems. And this was a little daunting at first, right? Because when you're bringing someone on full time on payroll, you're like, damn, like not too long ago, I wasn't even making this much. Now I'm having to pay this out every single month to someone else. So it is daunting because now you have to perform because this person is relying on you. If they're working for you full time, you're their source of income. And I know that, you know, a lot of you might not be to that point or even close to that point yet, but I'm sharing this with you because that's where I want to be and that's where I'm going to go. Like our agency right now has, I believe, 8 or 9 employees, plus myself and my business partner Presley. So we have all these people relying on us each month to, you know, perform and not lose clients and, you know, re-sign clients every month because their paycheck and them putting food on the table is up to us. And that might sound like a large responsibility, and it is. It is a large responsibility, but it's one that I want to take because that means that I'm providing a better life for this person, and that means that I'm buying back my time and I'm moving closer to where my goals are, right? So that's goal number 2, is systemize and scale. I will be covering this in the series after we pass the 10K a month mark. I'm actually bringing Ben, my videographer, the one doing the back end of this whole YouTube series, on as a partner with me in this agency because I realize that I'm going to be the one working on the agency a little bit more, and he's going to be the one working in it right now. We'll see how that changes in the future. This is a very similar dynamic to what myself and Presley have right now. I go shoot with our clients. Again, they're high ticket clients paying us over 10K a month, so I don't have to shoot with them that often, once a month roughly, because we're doing 4 YouTube videos per month. But Presley's the one that writes the scripts. He does all the ideation. He gives it over to me. I go and shoot with the clients. I fly to them. I shoot the videos with them, and then we edit all the videos. We post the videos for them. The videos perform. They make the clients money on paper so they can see at the end of each month through attribution that our services are making an ROI for them, usually 4 to 5x ROI. Like, you know, they're paying us 10, 15, even 20K a month for some clients, and they're ROIing 70, 80, 90K in profit directly attributed to the services that we're providing. That doesn't even account for the brand that we're helping them build, right? So on paper, it makes sense for them, but we're kind of in a performance role in our agency, and this is a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but we're in a little bit more of a performance role, so it's not systemized as well as it could, to the point where goal 3 will never happen in the current agency I'm running, which is part of the reason why I want to start this agency, so that goal 3 can happen. Goal 2, which is systemizing and scaling, this is where I want to get the agency to 30 to 50K a month, maybe even 100. It kind of just depends. I know 100 is possible because I'm doing that right now, but I don't know if I want to scale it out that much in order to go and hit goal 3. But again, time will tell, and I also need to go and acquire some more information in order to actually get to this point and decide whether or not 30 or 50 is going to be where I stop, or 100. Because with goal 3, I want to achieve exit velocity, and I want to document this, and this is where it actually makes sense to run this agency and start this agency. Like I said, you might be wondering, why am I starting this agency and only getting it to 10K a month? Like, that just seems like it makes no sense. Well, it doesn't really, but I have to get to 10K a month before I can get to 100K a month, and I have to get to 100K a month or 50 to 100K a month before I can exit it, right? Now, myself and my business partner are very much so involved in the agency that we run now, to the point where our clients love working with us, and if we were to try and go sell our agency, it wouldn't work because our clients would just drop us, because they work with us for us, right? So now I want to scale an agency where my clients are not attached to me, they are attached to the service and the outcome of what we're delivering. Now, if you're just starting out, I think that building relationships and leveraging that to the point where people are bought into you, therefore they're buying from you, is an easier way to scale. It's just not really exitable, right? So I need to go build something that I can exit. In order to do that, I need the clients to be attached to the outcome and the ROI and what is being created and delivered, more so than being attached to me. I don't want them to be attached to me at all, but it's probably going to happen a little bit in the beginning. But the difference is I'm just gonna have to set the bar differently, and I'm going to have to go and frame things differently, because that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to exit, right? So the difference this time around is with the other agency that I was building it to make money, because I needed to live and I wanted to live the life that I wanted to live, which I have. Now I'm building this one with an exit in mind. So I'm building to exit. So I'm going to be doing things differently with this agency because that's the end goal. I don't know how long it's going to take. I would love to be able to go and hit it in 6 months to a year. On paper, it's very possible, but there could be a lot of nuance that pops up. And that's what you're going to get to enjoy along the way and along the journey with me. So that's pretty much it. First goal, 10K a month. I reckon this will take 30 to 90 days. Hopefully hoping for the latter 30 days. And then goal number 2 is to systemize and scale. This is where I'm going to have to be in the business in the beginning, but then I can take myself out of the business as we scale up and as we start to have more funds to go and hire people. And I'm gonna bring you along this whole journey with me, right? I'm keeping everything transparent just like I'm doing now. Like, these are literally notes I took. I'm sharing all this with you from my own experience in growing an agency, right? We did the thing, we're doing the thing, we're gonna continue to do the thing, and we're gonna do the thing even bigger this time. So the goal is to systemize and scale. That's goal number 2. And then goal number 3 is to exit. And that's the direction that I want, and that's the direction that I'm gonna go. And now that I have direction, I can move in that direction with speed, and success loves speed. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. I know this was more a little motivational, different than what you're looking, that you've probably been seeing from me. But it's something that I feel was really important to make, because I know a lot of you are in that beginning stage where you want something, you want to make money, but you might not know the direction that you should be taking in order to get there. So I hope this painted a clearer picture and vision for you in the direction that you wanted to go or want to go, and how you can go about that. I would encourage you to do the same thing, where you go and you journal out and you have on paper exactly what you're looking to achieve, because it's going to be really cool, because I'm going to be able to come back and look at this once I achieve these things. Exactly what I would encourage you to do. I guess I'll wrap things up with today's Sunday, so more of a chill day today anyway, so I thought it was a really cool moment to kind of reflect on everything. We do have a mentorship. We do teach people. It's not a course, because I don't believe a course has enough hand-holding and accountability in order to be successful for a large amount of people. What we do is we're very dynamic with how we go into other people's lives and their businesses and give them a clear-cut set of instructions of exactly what they should do in their position. So if this is something that you're interested in, hit me up on Instagram. I'm not going to do crazy links and funnels down below. If you're interested, go over to my IG, ITS Camera Cam, it's Camera Cam. You can hit me there. You can ask some questions. I'll have a conversation with you, or my team will have a conversation with you if this is something that you're interested in. I'm not going to push it too hard, because I'm making money from my agency. I'm going to be making money from this agency here pretty soon. We haven't brought on a client just yet, but it will happen soon enough. But with that being said, today's Sunday, 6:30. I'm going to go wrap up my video that I'm posting today, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.